major fears all successful people must overcome. Fear number one is the fear of criticism. And I know you just run in a corner when we start making fun of you.
You know, the reason I think that the reason for the fear of the criticism is you need your credibility to get things done. So that's really, it's not like, a lot of people think in business it's this ego and I want everybody to think I'm wonderful. It's more about you need your credibility because it's sort of the capital that you're going to need to get things done. That's my take on it. And I'm not suggesting that successful business people don't have big egos. They certainly do. But there is real value to making sure that you're credible. And if people are even like picking at you from time to time, it really can demean your brand in a way that you might need. So successful people are sensitive to that.
Yeah, they are. And I'll mention something else. People that start a business where most of their career has been corporate life, for example. Criticism in a corporate life is a lot different than criticism when you're running your own business. You know, in corporate life, it could mean your raise, it could mean your job, it could be, the flavor is different, but you might come out of a corporate environment being concerned about any kind of criticism, which is interesting twist because we're talking about big egos, and this is a different reason why some people might fear criticism. But anyway,
I would not know that, because I haven't been in that.
Because you've never had a job in your life.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct.
Okay, fear number two is the fear of poverty. You know, we've talked about this before.
Yeah. The truth is that was probably my biggest motivator when I was first getting started. You know, my younger brother's getting a master's degree from Columbia University. My older brother's, graduated from Western Carolina and starting in the business world and managing an operation. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do and where I was going to go. And the last thing I wanted to do was keep living in my mom's, third bedroom. So that really was a motivating factor for me to do something. So that fear, I think, is real.
Well, it's interesting because these are supposedly fears you're supposed to overcome for successful people.
Well, the way you overcome
I think
them,
it can also be a good motivator, quite honestly.
Well, the truth is the way you overcome them is continuously have this drive moving forward because I guarantee you
to get out of it. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I guarantee you almost every successful person still has that same fear that tomorrow I might make a decision or a choice that might put me under. It is a very common thing that happens.
And in fact, the author kind of says the same thing. He says
exactly.
People have to think about not just surviving, but thriving. So he's saying it is a fear you want to overcome. Number three, this is an interesting one. Fear of old age, parentheses, and death.
I don't get that one. That's
I didn't at first until I read what it was he was saying, because that didn't make sense to me either. And, and I'm getting up in age. And what he's talking about is get over this fact that, hey, I can't learn this, I can't learn something new, I can't do something different because I'm old. There are people that do that, and it's stupid. I mean, you can still learn, the day you die if that's something you want to do.
Well, you're a great example of that. People like Donald Trump is a great example of that.
The day before I die? What are you trying to tell me, Joe?
You're continuing to grow. I mean, you taught yourself how to do video stuff. I mean, you taught yourself how to continue to market on the internet. I mean, that stuff you had to teach yourself, and that you're constantly learning. And there's a lot of business people that actually run from that, and you're trying to embrace it. Just like a very successful guy like Donald Trump, he's figuring out a way to tweet, and be a part of the new media. And that's not common. It is uncommon for a successful person to want to continue to figure out the newest thing that's happening. And those are ultra successful people that do that.
Yeah, so I think it's a valid point. Now, calling it fear of old age, I think, is a little bit misnamed, but that's what he's after. That's what he's after. Don't use it as an excuse to not learn the things you need to learn to be successful at business. Well, number whatever we're on, 4, fear of failure.
It's kind of the same thing as being poor, in my opinion.
Well, actually, there's several of these that are going to be bit similar.
Yeah, I mean, but listen, for me, one of the things, and I bring up Trump just because, we had the debate last night, so, they're pounding on him about some of his failures or businesses that didn't work out completely well, but, as a business guy, I watch that, and I'm okay with that. It's what we do, I mean, we try something. If it works, great. If it doesn't, we move on, or we tweak it, For me, I'm amused when I hear Trump talk about the magazine and the water and the vodka. Well, clearly those are all products that didn't go national in the way that he wanted them to go. But what did he do? He regrouped. Okay, you know what? Let's just put them in the club and let's make it a Trump brand that is just exclusively for the club. So he made do with what he could. And that's what we do as business people. We kind of figure out to work through that. So that's kind of where I see this in the scope of things. And it's very common.
Exactly, Joe.
Exactly.
You're right on as usual. Well, yeah, fear of failure. We hear about that all the time, and yeah, we say, okay, you shouldn't have it. But your point's valid because, in fact, I just read an article and I liked it, and it's the same as what this guy says. You know, if you have a failure, it helps get you focused, and it helps direct how you can reflect and correct something. If you just kind of keep bouncing around, you know, you don't get focused. And it's one of the most important things to have happen is that failures, making mistakes will actually bring focus and allow you to correct things and be focused on it rather than wondering what to do. So I think that's a good one, and it sounds a little trite when you say it, but you get underneath it, and I think it makes a lot of sense.